Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 444 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn here, as always, with my suspenders set to maximum stun. Got a great show for you today, though I got to be careful of this microphone arrangement because my kids came down here and messed everything up. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm holding this microphone together with props from around my garage. I have a bottle opener, so I've got this boom arm, but the microphone is too heavy for the boom arm. So whenever I try to attach the microphone to the arm, it sinks down. So I've got a clamp. I can't show it to you. Well, I suppose I could show it to you. I've got a C-clamp attached to the boom arm, upon which rests a bottle opener. That's a bottle opener, just to keep it propped upright. And then I've got an Apple iPhone charging thing that I put in here to make sure that this thing stays far enough away. It's a contraption, right? Well, a C-clamp, yes. Like the letter C, not as in ocean. It's a C-clamp because it's shaped like the letter C. Is that not what it's called? I'm admittedly not a construction guy. Anyway, my kids came down here and started rummaging around my office and knocked this whole thing off. So I had to piece it back together just before the program aired, and I hope I did it right. But I'm not touching the mic because I don't want it to fall to pieces in the middle of the program. Malak says, are you on Twitch? Yes, I am on Twitch. I am on both Twitch and YouTube, as well as Smashcast. Is that what it's called? Something like that. No one's on that, so no one ever watches my program from whatever. But hey, I'm trying to be all over the place. So I'm on the smashing of the cast. All right. Cool says, hey Oxhorn, I'm a relatively new subscriber and I love your content. What is your favorite Fallout game? It's really hard. They're all so good in their own way. I'm going to say Fallout 4 for now, just because it's the one I've most completed. I beat Fallout 3 years ago, and I whipped through the main story. So I missed a lot of it, and I don't remember much. And I beat Fallout New Vegas once back in 2015, and I again whipped through the main story. So I want to put as much time and attention into lovingly prodding every aspect of both of those stories, and then maybe I'll be able to say one of those two games. But so far, the only game I've lovingly prodded is Fallout 4. So that's the one. Perfect. Many thanks to all of the mods who are on the show today. I believe we've got Mrs. E is moderating, and I think Rev is too. I saw him on earlier. Anyway, you're welcome to leave a comment on Twitch, on YouTube, or on Discord. I am monitoring and we are moderating all of those different places. Metzi says, Oxhorn, what game will you play once you've covered everything in the Fallout series? Well, that's a bit premature. There's a lot to cover. I've only been working on 3 games, really. There's also Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, and Fallout 5, if and when it ever comes out. Not to mention the mods that are constantly coming out, and Creation Club content that I'm not going to be stopping with Fallout anytime soon. So the answer is, this is a Fallout channel for the foreseeable future. I may, everyone figured out? Yep. I thought so. I knew it while I was saying it. Fallen Angel says lovingly prodded needs to be a t-shirt. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing Fallout content for the foreseeable future. There are other games I'm interested in. I considered doing a series on Red Dead Redemption. Or the Red Dead series. I believe the first one is not called Redemption. I've considered doing content on L.A. Noire. I'm actually really interested in doing content about L.A. Noire. But, you know, it's not very popular on Steam. You know? One of the things I have to look at before I choose new games to sit and produce dedicated content to is how popular they are, like what games are currently being played. The Fallout franchise is up there. Like Fallout 4 is still within the top 10, I believe. So, New Vegas and 3 are in the top 50, I think. I'm not even sure. It's been a while since I've seen the Steam charts. The Dark Seraph with a tip, thank you, sir, says, found a couple great mods for Fallout 4. They are the official Minutemen mod and the improved perk mod and a Peacemaker mod. Well, it's good to know that they have your stamp of approval. Do Skyrim, everyone says. Do Skyrim. So what'd you guys I was about to say. MS says, love the Piper video. Least favorite Fallout game? I don't have a least favorite Fallout game. I mean, I'm sure when I sit down to play Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, that will be my least favorite game, simply because it's the most poorly reviewed game in the franchise, to the point where people are trying to forget that it even existed. I believe Bethesda even said, yeah, 100% of what was in that game is non-canonical. So Brotherhood of Steel probably, but I haven't played it, so I can't honestly say. But yeah, I mean, I like all of the games. There's not a Fallout game I dislike. And yeah, my Piper video. So I finally released my video profile on Piper. That was exhausting. I can tell you. I didn't realize it was going to be an hour and 15 minutes when I was sitting down to make it. But I knew it would be something like that because I've been recording footage for this video for months. The last big Fallout 4 companion I did a video about was Curie, and even then I had already recorded some footage for the Piper video, which I knew that was coming. And the reason is because she has something to say about almost every major event in the game, and so while I'm going through those major events while playing the game or while shooting footage for other videos, I wanted to also make sure I was capturing footage for my upcoming Piper video. So this video was months in the making, and I've got gigs and gigs of footage that I had to go through for this, and it was exhausting putting it together last night. But so I'm a little bit behind today. I still have to work on my video for tomorrow, but it'll be there. Don't worry. Almost done. Dawson Holiday says, Oxhorn, I want to build settlements with the Creation Club Workshop, but I don't know if they are truly lore friendly. Do you think I should build with them? Great question. Let me get back to that in a minute. Alkalinti says, huge fan, just keep doing what you love, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, okay. Keeps flying off the screen. Gabe the dog says, I'm a new person on Fallout 4. What should I do? Well, the nice thing about Fallout 4 is it's very forgiving. Unless you're trying to do too much. Like when I first played through Fallout 4, didn't know anything about it. I didn't consult any guides. I just put stuff into the perks that I liked. And I played on hardcore mode. It was called hardcore at the time. This was before they released a survival mode. It was the hardest mode that they had. And I managed to do okay. She ended up being my level 170-something sniper. So, if it's your first time, just put something in what you like. Kind of feel your way into the character that you're creating. But if you really don't know what you want, then go to the Fudge Muppet YouTube channel and browse through their Fallout 4 character profiles, because they've created all of these builds that you can use, and just punch in the numbers that they put in, find the perks when they ask you to, and you're going to make a great character. I use their builds for many of my videos. So, is everything in the workshop lore friendly? Well, it's a bit tricky. Check. Striped Llama says, Zox, I noticed today's video included all of your Fallout characters. Were they at different points with Piper, or was that a personal choice? They were all at different points. I recorded various footage from each of those characters at different points because that's when they had come across the character. There was so much to say about Piper, spanning the entire game and every faction ending, that I had to hop on multiple different characters just to source the footage. But anyway, I want to answer that question about the settlement. So here's the thing. Here's my opinion on that. Yeah, some of the stuff we find in the Creation Club for settlements does not seem very lore friendly. For example, the modern furniture workshop pack. I mean, everything in it is beautiful and well done, but it all looks new. Hardwood paneling, or these beautiful waxed floors, a variety of shades and colors, sandalwood, like, oh, it's like you're walking into a Bed Bath and Beyond. And in a wasteland, I don't know. But the problem is that in the official DLCs for Fallout 4, they've already released some stuff that I'm kind of, questioning. For example, with Vault-Tec Workshop, the new Vault-Tec settlement build menu has a ton of brand new stuff. New beds, new toilets, new countertops, soda machines, consoles, big computer consoles, all sorts of stuff that now I understand the lore behind that. You discovered Vault 88. So you're discovering stuff that has been untouched for 200 years. I get it. But theoretically, we're able to use all of that in every single settlement around the Commonwealth. I mean, there comes a point where you wonder exactly how much furniture did Vault-Tec give Vault 88. I mean, it's at some point it's not new and beautiful anymore. So, and then also with Contraptions Workshop, the concrete, to be perfectly honest, concrete is difficult. Building a concrete structure is not easy. It's not something that a bunch of ragtag malicious settlers can build. It takes engineers to go out there and build a huge concrete bunker. But with Wasteland Workshop, we can. And then in Contraptions Workshop, we can get these really complicated power conduits. Again, something I don't really think a Wastelander would be able to do very, very easily. Not to mention all of the flashy lighting and the logic gates. So even when it comes to the downloadable content of Fallout 4 itself, my eyebrow goes like this. Really? And I wonder, is that lore friendly? So here's my philosophy on the settlement building. I don't even know if the settlement building can be lore friendly. I mean, the idea that the Minutemen are rebuilding the Commonwealth, sure. But to the extent that we find settlements on YouTube or on the Nexus with big swimming pools and beach parties and huge TV rooms, and sometimes that stuff gets a little overboard. And the mods that people use for them and the stuff we get on Creation Club and even some of the DLCs allow you to do stuff like that. So, I don't know. When it comes to the settlement menu, I just think of it as more fantasy. That's more of the fantasy, more of the gameplay fantasy of the game. Less lore, more gameplay fantasy. There are other aspects of the gameplay that wouldn't make sense in the lore of the game that are not necessarily lore friendly, like a stim pack. I mean, you inject yourself with a stim pack and immediately, even though you're next to death, you're okay. That's a game mechanic. That's a necessary game mechanic. They put that in the game because you have to have that to play it, not because the stim pack is realistic and lore friendly. So we have to be able to diverge the lore of the game from the gameplay itself. We do that when it comes to taking chems. You drink some bottled water and suddenly you're at full health. Not really realistic, but it's necessary for the game. So I take that philosophy with me when I talk about settlements. Sure, being able to build these beautiful concrete bunkers and then wire them with a bunch of conduits and have working toilets that are pristine and continue to flush, not necessarily realistic 200 years after the bombs dropped, but that's part of the gameplay and that's part of the suspension of disbelief. Move your mic over. Are you having a hard time hearing me? Well, like I said, I'm scared to touch my mic because I don't want it to fall down. How's that? Fallout Tactics Oxhorn? Yep, I've got it installed. I've booted it up. Just haven't made any content on it yet. There's just too much content to make. Like I said, I'm not going to stop making videos anytime soon. Marklar says, are you going to release any more Nuka World videos? Absolutely. I've got a few more parks to cover. I haven't even touched the Hubologists yet, and I've got plans to do a video on them. I'd love to talk more about John Caleb Bradburton. I need to do Sierra Petrovita. Yeah, there's a lot for me to do. And so I'm going to be producing more content about Nuka World. Was there a message I missed? See, the thing is, I start getting to talking, and then your comments fly off the screen, and I miss them. Dawson says, thank you so much. I really respect your opinion. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you came here and asked your question. Where'd you get your bowler hat? Well, this one I got on a website years ago called MikeTheHatter.com. I don't even know if they exist anymore. Now you can get them on Amazon, but back then you couldn't. Back then, Amazon was a bookshop. Times changed fast. Gypsy Rose Sharpie. Okay, I remember you correcting me last week on how to pronounce your name. There's an E at the end of it. I don't know if I should pronounce the E or just call you Sharp, so I'm sorry, you're going to have to remind me again. I know you reminded me last week, so this is probably frustrating for you. My bad. But Gypsy Rose Sharp says, by the way, your video on Piper made me look at her differently, and I may actually use her as a companion. Well, thank you very much. I had so much fun making my video on Piper. It was a long time coming. I'm glad to have it done, and I'm really happy with the end result. I touched on a lot of stuff, which is why it's so long, but I felt it was necessary because Piper really touches a lot of stuff as a companion. As a character in the game, she's there to guide you through Diamond City, to talk with you about the Institute and the Synths, to talk about the mayor at the end of the game, depending on whatever faction you choose. She's a romanceable option. I mean, there's just so much to talk about that it really had to be that long. So I'm glad you really enjoyed it. No E, says Gypsy Rose Sharp. Thank you. I will try to remember. Eisen says, what is your favorite companion through all of the games? Ooh. What is your favorite food in Fallout, says Kyle? Buzz Bites. Donuts filled with hot coffee that stays hot 200 years later? Totally Buzz Bites. Again, gameplay mechanics, not necessarily lore friendly. It's so hard. I love Boone. Boone, when I heard his story, my heart broke for the guy. And I really enjoy Cass. Her personality is just great. Veronica's okay. I like Veronica, but she's not right up there with my favorites. Same with, Rex and Eddie and Lily, as much as I like all of them. Boone and Cass are great. But then I start thinking about Fallout 4, and Nick Valentine is amazing. What an amazing character that they created. Sure, he's Humphrey Bogart, but he is so interesting. His story is interesting. His relationship with Dima is interesting. As a detective, he's interesting. His conflicting feelings becoming a person. Everything about Nick is really interesting. So I really like Nick. And I also really like Curie, but I don't know if it's just the French accent. I have to admit, part of it is just me being male and falling for the French accent. So I don't know if it's because she's interesting or just really, really cute. It's one of those two. And Codsworth is okay. Really, all of the other Fallout... Well, okay, I really like Hancock. And McCready, I also really like McCready. See, this is hard. You're asking me to pick my children. Well, not really, but it's like having to pick a child. There's you love them all. So how do you pick one? See, this is what happens. I get to talking, and my cigar goes out. Nick Valentine is amazing, says the Salty Prism. I agree. My favorite thing about him is how he breaks out into quotes from the old world that he could only know because his mind is he still has part of the mind of the original Nick Valentine, the original detective. So he's reaching back into the mind of a pre-war detective who's been dead for over 200 years, and he's pulling out quotes from human literature, from antiquity. He quotes Edgar Allan Poe out the yin yang. I think he even quoted Shakespeare at one point. He quotes the Bhagavad Gita, of all things, which is like that was referenced by oh man, the names are not coming to my mind. Himmenbopper. The Manhattan Project guy. Oh, what is the guy? His name is not Hemmenbopper. It's just, I can't remember. Well, I know that many of you are concerned about my scotch. I don't have any scotch today. I realize that this is misrepresenting the show. It is called Scotch and Smoke Rings. I should have scotch. I'm sorry. I beg your forgiveness. Full refund. Full refund. But I don't have any scotch. So instead, and because it's a really cold day, I am the destroyer of worlds, says the hateful jerk. That's right. Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is what it was. Oppenheimer, Manhattan Project, said that I am the destroyer of worlds, which was an excerpt from the Bhagavad Gita upon witnessing the world's first nuclear detonation. And Nick Valentine says that when you blow up the Nexus. God, so cool. Such a great companion. Anyway, why the suspenders, says William? To keep my pants up. I did not have any scotch. So I decided to make myself another hot toddy. A little bit of honey, a little bit of hot water, a little bit of rum, some lemon peel, some tea. I've got some herbal tea in there, and then a little bit of cinnamon and a dash of nutmeg. Oh, keeps me warm. Oh! You guys, your comments just fly off the screen. I can't keep up. Nay, ye foul beast, says, so how do you feel about the fusion core powering and building for 210 minutes? But as soon as you put it in power armor, you only got 30 minutes. Again, gameplay mechanics versus lore. The gameplay mechanics don't necessarily have to make sense in terms of realism and lore. So we got to just be able to forgive them for that. Crypto Seb says, take my Bitcoin. Love your content, bro. Thank you, sir. I will happily take your Bitcoin. Do I? I don't think I own any Bitcoin. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you were to have asked me this last month, I would have said it was a very bad thing because Bitcoin was going crazy. And I would have said, man, all those guys who were telling me to get Bitcoin, man, I should have listened. But now I'm kind of like, man, I'm glad I didn't listen to those guys who told me to get Bitcoin. Man, who knows? It'll change again. Crypto Seb says, you're not reading my... I just read your comment, Crypto Seb. I can't read every comment. There are 1,024 people watching right now. That's a lot of people leaving comments. I'm doing my best, but I only have 2 eyes. 2 eyes. And only 1 tongue, so it's kind of like... Even if I could read them all, I couldn't respond to them all. Coulter says, hey, I'm a huge fan. Have you read any of the Metro books? They are great. I feel ashamed to say that no, I haven't. And from everything I've seen in the games, they must be great because Metro is a great series. I've been enjoying everything about it. William says, what's your favorite outfit? my favorite vanilla outfit from the game. I know this may not make sense. I love the synth uniform, not the Courser uniform. I'm actually not that fond of the Courser uniform. I know it's black. I know it's cool. It kind of looks like a plasticky leather thing, but no, just the straight up synth uniform. White, crisp, collar, minor insignia. It's great. I even released a reskin texture mod of that outfit because I liked it so well. I wanted to perfect it. I don't know if anyone's ever downloaded it, but I use it in my game. Gypsy Rose says, do you know that what you're drinking is great for colds? Yeah, I'm cold. That's why I'm drinking it. Gypsy Rose says, have your puppet master help you out, Ox. Oh, wait, you said he was shy. He is shy. He's down there right now with his arm up my shirt, making me talk, projecting his voice because he's camera shy. My face is not the real Oxhorn face. That's what I was talking about last week. No, I'm a puppet. The real Oxhorn is projecting his voice right now because I was getting people last week saying, oh, Ox, you don't look the way I expected. Your voice totally doesn't match your face. Are you a puppet? And the answer is yes. Alex says, hey, Ox, quick question. Do you prefer Apple or Android? I personally like Apple, better software. Also, can you do your best pirate accent? This is mine. Arg, matey. Thanks, I heard that. I'm going to say Apple. I realize Android's more flexible. I started with an iPhone. That was my first smartphone. Never tried an Android. Don't really want to switch now, so... as for the pirate accent, I can't do a pirate accent. Avast, ye hearties. Bring out the wench and make her walk the plank. I disappoint people on Talk Like a Pirate Day. Back when I was working in an office and I did the 9 to 5 every day and I commuted and all that jazz. Every week, or every year, there's the National Talk Like a Pirate Day, and for some reason, the people in my office thought I would be really good at talking like a pirate. So when I get to work, everyone's really excited. Oh, here comes Oxhorn. Hey, Oxhorn, it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Yar, mateys. Everyone. Collective. I can't do a pirate. I can't. It's not easy for me. Ahoy, landlubber! We have 5.5 out of 10 on the pirate accent. Thanks. I'm glad I can see all of you right now lifting up those placards. 1. And Irish. See, Dalton says, can you do an Irish accent? No, I cannot do an Irish accent. That's another Irish accent people think I should be able to do that I can't do. Oh, I'm not even going to try it. I'll just embarrass myself, and I'll humiliate all of the poor, wonderful Irish people watching this broadcast. I will not even attempt to butcher your national accent. So, no. I could do a leprechaun accent. Is that offensive these days? I don't know. I can never tell what's offensive these days. Is talking like a leprechaun offensive to the Irish? I am part Irish, as is almost everyone in America. So could I get away with it, even if it was offensive? Could I speak like a leprechaun? Oh. It's just... BG Corporation says, just do your pirate accent because it sounded like you were doing an Irish accent. Oh, wouldn't that be horrible if my Irish accent actually sounds like the pirate accent that I attempted? The truth is, I only have one accent that I can fake. It's a crazy amalgam Oxhorn accent. Johanna Hera says, Oxhorn, what day do you think Bethesda will add nudity in Fallout 4, like in Fallout New Vegas? Also, 1010 good acting. Or 1010 good act. I could be wrong, but I don't believe Obsidian added nudity in Fallout New Vegas. The closest they get is the strippers outside of Gamora, but even they are wearing pasties. So it's not, I mean, is it? I mean, yeah. They are strippers, so... Is that technically nudity? Well, whatever. I mean, some of... They didn't go full... Well, okay. How do I keep this family friendly? It's tricky. This is an interesting topic of conversation. My answer is no. I don't think they ever will. I don't really have a reason why. I mean, they did in Metro. Didn't seem to hurt their franchise. You know what? It's weird, though, because I was raised on a generation of games where there was a lot of just overblown gore, but never even any nudity. And for some reason, I seem to have missed that big surge of games where now nudity is okay in games. I know there are a bunch of them out there, like the Witcher series, and I didn't know about Metro until I was already in the middle of it. Then all the viewers were like, did you know there's nudity in this game? I'm like, no! Thanks for letting me know. This is the game I chose to broadcast. Thankfully, it's all over now. I think all of the boobs are gone. But yeah, somewhere around 2013, I start playing games, and suddenly there's nudity in all these games. What happened? Which character would you like to see in Fallout 5? Lorenzo Cabot. Or his son. It doesn't have to be Lorenzo. Either Lorenzo or his son. I want to know the canonical ending of the whole Cabot House lore. I want to find out whether or not it ties in with Qualtoth and Dunwich. That's what I really want to know. I want to see Lorenzo Cabot and... Come on, what's his name? Point Lookout. The ghoul with the mustache and the hair and the glasses. Anyway, I want to see him. I want to see Lorenzo Cabot. I want to see that guy get together and either have an epic fight or world domination. Wouldn't that be fun? Desmond Lockhart, thank you. Desmond Lockhart from Point Lookout. I want to see Desmond come back. I want to see Lorenzo come back. What do you think happened to the Lone Wanderer or the Courier? Those are two characters I never want to know anything about. And they never will. You know, all of those theories out there saying that Deacon is the Lone Wanderer, it's not true. Bethesda will never, ever, ever, ever have a game where they reveal the true identity of the Lone Wanderer, the Chosen One, the Courier, or the Sole Survivor, because it would completely pull the rug out from everyone who ever played those games. The point of the Fallout franchise is you're building a new character, and you get to choose who this character will be in this world that you otherwise have no control over. You don't have control over the people you find there. Kind of like in real life, we were born into a world, we couldn't control it until we got into it. Now we can influence it. And it's the same way in the Fallout franchise. You've got this character, you can mold this character, and then influence the world that this character finds. That's the beauty of the Fallout franchise. Those characters, Bethesda will never define who those are, because it might put too much of an identity on the character that you tried to create for yourself. Now, they did get really close. They did get really close in Fallout 4 when they had a canonical ending towards the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 3, but they had to. They had to in order to bring the Brotherhood into the Capital Waste, into the Commonwealth as a villain. There's no way they could have made the Brotherhood a villain unless the Brotherhood canonically defeated the Enclave using the help of the Lone Wanderer. So, sorry for those of you who sided with the Enclave. Your gameplay was a lie. And that's a little frustrating. But no, they won't ever reveal the true identity. What do you think of aliens in Fallout 3 and 4? I wish they weren't there, but they are. So you got to deal with them. They're part of the canonical lore. I would have much rather that they stayed in the realm of Easter egg. Alien Easter eggs go all the way back to the original Fallout. If you played Fallout 1, there's a Doctor Who Easter egg. There's a random encounter in Fallout 1 where you can find the TARDIS. I mean, that can't be canonical, but that's in the very first game, right? So this sort of toying and prodding with pop culture it has a long history in the Fallout franchise. But I always imagined Fallout as being on Earth, grounded on terra firma. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of flying vehicles aside from a vertibird and a zeppelin now, apparently. There are no horses. Vehicles don't work. It's firmly planted on your own 2 feet on terra firma. That's how you spend most of your time in Fallout. And I don't know, the canonical lore being that aliens do exist and they're called Zetans. I feel like I'm no longer playing a post-apocalyptic game, and instead I'm playing an alien shooter. And I'll touch more on that when we get to Mothership Zeta. I'm still really excited to play Mothership Zeta. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to dig into the lore that Bethesda has buried in there for us. But I must admit that if it were up to me, and if I could have my druthers, as they say, I would not have made Aliens canonical. But that's just me. Hateful Jerk says, wouldn't Cabot's storyline also be in the realm of the alien thing? Yes, but I would much prefer aliens to the supernatural. That's another thing. I don't want the supernatural in Fallout. The supernatural is fine in fantasy. I realize that sci-fi is the twin brother of fantasy. I get it. But when I think of fantasy, I don't think of the supernatural. I don't think about things that cannot be understood and things that are just magical. I don't think of magic. When I think of science fiction, when I think of a post-apocalyptic wasteland, I think about technology that's understandable to humanity, and that people are living through the real consequences of bad decisions or the misuse of technology or poor political choices. Everything is really, it's built on fiction. It's certainly fiction, but it's built on a relatable fiction. Fantasy magic is not relatable. That may be one of the reasons why I'm not too keen on going towards Skyrim. So when I discovered the whole Dunwich thing in Fallout, I was a little upset. So that's one of the reasons why I'm eager to find out how it all ends, because if at least I can tie it into the aliens, which are established part of Fallout canonical lore, and can kind of be explained, even though it kind of is magical, at least it won't be magic. At least it won't be the supernatural, and I'll be happy. But that's just me. Yeah, if everything we experience with Dunwich and Unqualtoth and Alazored Grath, if all of that is some sort of human misunderstanding of alien technology that's possibly been dormant for hundreds or thousands of years, that would be really interesting. If they could find a way to bring it back to Earth and to really turn it into some sort of ancient alien technology, then that would be great. However, the problem with that, and one thing that Bethesda has done, I love Bethesda, but one thing that Bethesda has done that I don't like is they've kind of broken the divergence. And they did this with Lorenzo Cabot, they did this with Mothership Zeta, when they introduced people that you can come upon who are older than the first possible beginning date of the divergence. Lorenzo Cabot was born in the 1800s. That's long before the divergence. So if we're supposed to believe that the world of Fallout is going on a different timeline parallel to our own, then if it were a relatable, if it were a real fan, here I'm getting really geeky, I understand, but if it were real, then we would be able to go through our own archaeology and ancestry and find Lorenzo Cabot. because he exists before the divergence in Fallout lore. And when they do that, that bothers me. I don't like it when they break that divergence. I like the divergence line somewhere in the 50s, round about there. Sure, make it a little muddy, make it a little gray, but don't break it. When they break it, that bothers me. Van Dalen says, hey, Oxhorn, remember Vault 11, or 111? One escaped at the end, right? Know any info about them? Are you talking about the cryogenic pod that we found empty? I know that that's really tempting, that it's really, maybe there's something there. Honestly, I just think that guy didn't show up that day, right? Vault-Tec had all of these people signed up to go to the vault. The bombs drop. You've got less than 60 seconds to run up the hill to the vault. What's the likelihood that everybody signed up is going to show up? Pretty slim to none. The fact that there's only one empty pod is the incredible thing. I would expect there to be far fewer people to have showed up. But instead, we only find one empty pod in that one list. His name wasn't on the registry because he didn't show up. That's how I interpret that, but we really don't know. I should sit down and do a video on Vault 111, because there are little things like that that I'd love to elaborate on. Mr. Judgehead, maybe the supernatural is just radiation messing with people's head. There's certainly a great argument for that, especially if you go to Far Harbor and you drink from that spring, the irradiated spring. You drink from the spring, suddenly you start having these hallucinations, and Mother appears. Is that a supernatural event? Maybe it does have something. And we already know that the whole Qualta thing is related to radiation. We find huge doses of radiation whenever we find anybody talking about a lazaret in Fallout 3. So yeah, interesting. Maybe it is a mass hallucination. Do a smoke ring, says Ranger Cody. Okay. Ah. It's the wind in my office. The ventilation is messing it up. Ah. Best I can do. Oh, Vault 11! Van Dalen, sorry, yeah. I misinterpreted your comment. The guy who left Vault 11, yeah, because we did find the doors to Vault 11 open. And whoever was the sole survivor of that particular vault did walk off into the wastes. We don't know who that was, but that event did happen hundreds of years ago. That big political revolution that happened in Vault 11 happened pretty early in the history of the Vault, or at least in the middle of the history of the Vault. I don't believe we have any indication that it happened close to the date that the courier finds it. So that person could be long dead. But it is curious to think about. Where does that story end? I don't know. See, there are all these little strings that Bethesda can pick up at any time and turn into a new piece of wonderful content. Okay. Let's start playing the game because I have got to get to work to finish tomorrow's video. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the music. We're going to boot up Metro Last Light and find out exactly where we left off. I don't recall where we were. So for those new to the program, when I'm playing the game, I am focusing on the game, so I won't have much of a chance to read your comments. However, I do have your comments on another screen, so I can periodically bend over or lean over to read them. Rarity says the Dunwich lores are implied that ghoulification exists before the bombs dropped. And your comment flew off the screen. Sorry about that. Ghoulification did exist before the bombs dropped, as we learned from Eddie Winter. He became a ghoul before the bombs dropped. Okay, let's do this.
In some other time and place, what happened could be life-changing. But there is no time but present, and no place but the metro for us. And we must do everything we can to save it. I have to hurry and catch up with the Dark One. Anna has to tell her father of what Korbut and Moskvin are doing. Anything else is a luxury we can't afford right now.
Turn up the voices. Okay. I don't have that option. I've got master volume and music volume. I'll turn up master volume, okay?
Soon, the leaders of Hansa, Red Line, and Reich will meet in Polis, hoping to reach a peaceful settlement on D6. But I know the nature of man all too well, Artyom. War is as certain as the fall of night, unless a miracle happens.
Come through.
Well, we won't catch the train with the Dark One moving along the tunnel. But there is another way.
Sorry, buddy, I'm a Fallout player. I gotta go loot.
Here's our pass.
All right. Are you going to Polis?
No. Open the interline tunnel for me.
This shit just keeps breaking up. But the interline is a dead end, and very dangerous.
A dead end? No way. That's our road to Polis. Open up.
Uh-oh. How can I trust this guy? Is he gonna take me to my death?
Let's go, Artyom.
Careful with the generators!
As you see, it's no dead end. That's just what the Hansa authorities claim to discourage people from entering these passages.
Ooh.
An unprepared man could easily lose his way here, or even become lost within himself. But as long as you're with me, there is no danger.
Well, that's his cue to die.
Most people believe Metro to be just tunnels and stations, a lifeless and soulless conglomerate created by human hands alone. There's a special place in the Metro. The few people who come upon it never return. I call it the River of Fate, because it can change your destiny, wash away the silt of the past, and offer the chance for a different future.
He's really hanging on to that lever, isn't he? Oh, I see. He was waiting for me. Are you gonna do the next one, or shall I? Thank you, Khan. What's his name again?
If a man enters this river in dire need of such a chance, wishing desperately to earn it, then he might be carried to the place and time where that chance is granted.
What are you talking about, buddy? Are we saying we're going back in time now? Come on, don't give me any of that nonsense.
Remember, we must find the Dark One. It is the only thing we are to ask of the river.
We're asking a river now.
The metro is a living, breathing thing, with a heartbeat, a soul, and a mind.
Okay. Khan, that's right, his name was Khan. I remember Corboot calling the operation they were going to carry out at Oxhorn an experiment. What if this massacre was not a prelude to a great war, but just a test of the new monstrous weapon? What if the Reds are simply distracting Order and Hansa, all the while preparing a more powerful, overwhelming attack? I wanted to be a soldier, to protect humanity, but all the blood I spilled didn't help me prevent the war that's already started. I didn't become a superhero capable of killing the villain and saving the whole world. Not that I didn't dream of it. Everyone does. But when the war starts, most turn out to be just cannon fodder. Many don't even survive their first engagement. And I, as a little gear, can only spin on the predetermined axis and watch the massive flywheel of slaughter unwind. That, perhaps, is why I am going with Khan. This might be my only chance to change anything.
We got to be careful here.
Careful is my middle name.
It's an abandoned place.
Great. I don't want to meet anybody. Let's hope it is really abandoned. Whoa! Oh, I see. So once we jump down, there is no going back? Okay. Boy, I love getting myself into those kinds of situations. Ah, too many crickets. I know everyone says they hate this gun, but I love my little pea shooter. It's so great.
Hear that? Get ready.
Where'd he go? There he is. The one thing I gotta get myself out of the habit of doing is compulsive reloading. Because in this game, you stop to reload at the wrong moment, you die. Holy cow. What's in that? He's like a Sonic the Hedgehog with his somersaults.
Just some monsters, nothing else. Let's go.
Yeah, you wait for me. I'm the player, and I want to loot. I'm going over here, gonna get some loot. Gonna get some fat, sick loot in this corner, and I find nothing. Oh. Oh, it pays. This is such a beautiful game. I know it's an older game, but you have to remember I missed 10 years of gaming technology advancement, so to me this looks beautiful. Don't walk on the grate. What are you thinking?
All right. There's something behind these cobwebs.
I'll burn it then. Walk right into the trap. Oh, I wonder if that's a good omen. Skull and crossbones are always a good thing. Well, okay, yeah, you want me to go behind there, but I want to see. Oh, I love it. It's so creepy.
Intriguing. Is that a sign?
I wonder.
The grate is rusted and poorly attached.
Kick it.
Give me a hand here, Artyom.
Oh, yeah, okay.
1, 2. Continue burning it, Artyom. Look, water. We're almost there. Pretty close.
Oh,
Darkness envelops us. We must not get lost in it. Do not rush, and don't be surprised by anything.
so my flashlight and my night vision goggles miraculously stopped working. So all I've got is torchlight.
It is a strange place.
Please tell me this is not your first time being here, Con. I am...
You can pick it up. I think it's for you.
I'm sure someone I care about knows my number down here.
Артём? Саня, Артём?
We can't stay here for long.
No thanks.
This is it. The River of Fate. Not so impressive, perhaps, on the surface. We have to enter the water.
Why am I following this guy?
Enter the water and imagine what you would change in your fate. Think of the Dark One. Don't be afraid. You're meant to be here, Artyom.
Sure. Okay. I am meant to be here. Maybe I'm meant to be eaten by a big monster.
Further! Go further!
You go further.
Do not stop!
Am I walking on
Think
water?
of the Dark One, and the river will bring you to him!
Am I walking on water? I think I'm walking on water. No way. So, I think this is back at the very end of the first
Familiar
game.
scenery? It's the tower. And down there is the city of the Dark Ones. It's the moment you launch the missiles. Look, that's you. The river will cleanse you, forgive your sins. You can change your fate. You can do it. Choose your destiny and be free. This was their home. All that's left is ashes and dust. Look, there he is. The Dark One. After him. Faster!
Where'd he go, little boy? Where'd he go?
Can't afford to lose him. Nobody. A dead end. Is this where you almost caught him?
Yep.
You must try again, Artyom. The Dark One. He's still at that freak show on the train. Look! After him! Run! Ahead! Faster! Ahead!
Well, something's happening. I'm falling, and he's kind of not.
Damnation! The river almost got me this time. Oh, it's working. Back in the desert of the world. When we got out of the river, the Dark One was very close. He can't have gotten too far ahead.
Right.
Post 13, come in. High alert, I repeat, high alert. Red saboteur sighting confirmed. Your position might be attacked. The evac train is considered their primary target. High
Too
alert.
late. But the train's got to be nearby.
Post 13, come in. High alert, I repeat, high alert. Red saboteur sighting confirmed. Your position might be attacked. The evac train is considered their primary target. High alert.
Come on, hop in.
I'm coming.
We need that miracle now, Artyom. Remember everything I told you about the Dark One. You must save him. And then he just might save us all.
Okay. Right. Why? No? Okay. Yeah, we'll save him.
I never believed him, and that is no surprise. But Khan's words were true. This strange river took me to the past. The moment where I sent out the signal and destroyed all the Dark Ones. And then it dropped me off at the place where I can find the last survivor of that race. A helpless and harmless child. Khan called him the last angel.
The train's somewhere around here. I have this feeling. You hear that? That's the train! We were right! Harry, we've got to catch it! You're right! Hold on, Artyom!
Whoa!
Two more! Fire!
Oh, and I'm done. Okay. Let's try something that loads a little bit more.
Harry, we've got to catch it! You're right! Hold on, Artyom! Two more! Fire!
Okay. Tricky bit. Tricky bit. Let's try this again.
Harry, we've got to catch it! You're right! Hold on, Artyom! Two more! Fire! Hold on, Artyom! Come on! I can't let them overtake us! Here it is! Here's the deal, Artyom! We catch up with the train and you jump over!
Oh.
There's no other way to stop it!
Okay.
Damn! They're right! They beat us to it! Hold on, Artyom! We're taking the adjacent train!
Okay. Oh.
Fire!
Oh, great.
Great! The tracks are converging soon, Artyom! You have to jump!
Okay.
You get to the car with all the cages at the head of the train! Free the Dark One and stop the train! I'll try to keep up!
Great. I'll just jump then.
Go! Go!
Incredible! Quickly tap E. No? Oh, jump it. Here we go. Khan. I never know what to expect of him. I don't even really know what he is. A traveling philosopher? A wizard? A guest from a parallel dimension? How does he earn his living? By saving people or by killing them? He always makes me feel I don't understand anything about life and world I'm living in. He shows me things I can't explain and will never be able to. He makes obvious seem absurd, while the absurd become logical and natural. What if he is right? What if the Dark Ones were not demons, not hellspawn, but angels? What if they were able to save us, if we could overcome the animal within us and find a common language with them? What if the Dark Little One that's sitting in a cage inside this train, what if he's really the last angel? What if he's going to pass judgment on us all? Okay. Ah! It's okay, little guy. I came for you. Sure, I killed your family and your entire civilization, but... Now I'm the child? Did I give him my adulthood?
Mom? Mama? Mama?
Artyom, darling, you're so big now.
Mom, I'm scared.
Don't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of now.
Don't leave, Mom. I'm all alone now.
You're not alone. You're the first.
We remembered you and were waiting. We could remember all the thoughts of our race. And you killed everyone. And now I'm alone.
Hey. What the heck? Hey.
Of course, I could not kill him. And while I am alive and my heart is beating, I will protect him. Khan says we will be able to use him to stop the war. Yes, he can make miracles happen, but I don't want to use him. His war was over when I targeted the missiles at his home, his family.
Oh. I've got this dead, burning Dark One, baby.
Above. Black. Above. It is good. Here. Shining. All around. Down there. It's hard to breathe. Bad. Letting me go. You're changing. I will be there, in the shining, but I will stay close to you.
Great. All right. Ah, finally I can see. And it's not through a cracked gas mask. Okay, so this... How do I even describe what is happening right now? I used all my shotgun shells, and now I'm in some sort of wasteland area. And I gotta fight my way through more monsters. Yeah, like those. Right. So I can't get to that? Alright. Looks like I have to go this way then. Let's just make sure that all my guns are reloaded before I continue moving. How about that? I'm not gonna waste my ammunition.
Help you see.
Oh, cool.
Understand why you see. They fear you. So tired.
Oh, so then he gets tired and he can't. All right, I see. So that will be a momentary boon. Oh shoot! I just wasted a bunch of my shotgun shells after that. So okay, let's see if we can find more.
You and the other people are strong. You can kill anyone.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? I've certainly survived so far, huh?
I will come with you. A thing you know. I need it. Do not understand yet. Something important.
Okay, well, I'll follow you then. Oh no, not some of the swamp things.
Many hungry ones here. Think you're food.
But I am not.
You all wear clothes.
Yeah, it keeps us
I
warm,
want
buddy.
to. Like you.
Well, you're welcome to a gas mask. That's all I've got on me. Okay, Whoa. what is that? Ooh, that's cool looking. What is it? Oh, it's another dart gun. I don't want it. I know everyone's telling me I should use it because then I can retrieve the darts. I just don't want to have to retrieve the darts. I suppose I'll regret this decision if I'm ever out of ammunition. Whoops. I recalled why I am immune to the Dark One's influence. I am, in fact, a chosen one, but I was not born that way. I became so the day we opened that airlock, the day I was destined to die. I was supposed to be ripped apart by feral beasts, but that Dark One saved me. I was the first human they met. It just happened that way. And before I even had a chance to get scared, he touched me, because that's the way they create a link. It's hard to do with a grown-up person, but kids, they're not yet hardened. Their soul is still free to crust. Easier to get to. I became the first. I may regret this, but you know what? I need an ammunition source that's replenishable, so. Goodbye, my favorite sniper rifle. I'll miss you. Reload is not so bad. Anyone see that dart I shot? It's probably gone forever. And I still have 25 darts. Hey, okay, maybe I could get used to this weapon. Not bad, not bad. I am burning through my filters like a madman. I gotta get out of this above ground area. Yeah, if it flies, I'm not going to get the dart back, so.
Look, I'm like you, with
Nicely done, kid. Ooh. This is a grisly scene. What? Oh no. Oh. Oh. This is horrifying.
Watch out!
Oh! Okay. Gotta see if I can save the kid on the boat. Gotta save the kid on the boat. Bug off! Come on! Okay. That day I opened the airlock and went out into the dead surface, risking my life and lives of my friends because I just missed my mother too much. And that Dark One saw me. He saw a lonely orphan, alone in the whole world. By touching my soul, as if he adopted me. It's as if he adopted me. Ever since that moment, their presence would not inflict terror or pain upon me. I was supposed to grow up and become a medium between humans and the Dark Ones, a bridge between the two worlds. They were coming to the expo to find me, to make me recall my mission. Miss my sniper rifle. Why did I exchange it for the dart thing? Okay, well. Alley-oop. No? Was that bad? Okay.
So high. You made the city? So huge. Why are your people down there now? Why so few?
Yeah, well, we killed ourselves with nuclear idiocy is what we did.
Whatever my intentions concerning him might be, the little Dark One just does not seem to care. He keeps following me, as if I never was going after him. As if we were tied together by fate.
Right. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to call it an evening. We got pretty far, though. Went through some pretty trippy storyline. I'm going to have to read up on it to figure out exactly what just happened. But we will pick up right here where we leave off next week. Same Ox time, same Ox channel here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. Thank you so much for watching. I've got a video to finish for tomorrow, so I hope to get that done on time. And if I do, I'll have a brand new video for you tomorrow morning, bright and early, as always. So again, thank you all for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Have a good evening.